So Ibn Hisham here was talking about, we just back up a little bit, the top of this tanbih, alert, or notice. So he says, قد يكون للشيء إعراب إذا كان وحده. Something might have an إعراب on its own. فإذا اتصل به شيء آخر تغير إعرابه. But when something else is connected to it, يعني, or associated with it, then it would have a different إعراب. فينبغي التحرز في ذلك. So then it's necessary to be careful about that. من ذلك ما أنت وما شأنك فإنهما مبتدأ وخبر. Those two are a مبتدأ and a خبر. إذا لم تأتي بعدها بنحو قولك وزيدا. If you don't come with something after that, such as for you to say وزيدا, and of course the nasab is important to the point that he's making here in zaydan, in the whole point he's making. فإن جئت به, if you did produce such a thing, فأنت, then in that case أنت is going to be مرفوع. فأنت مرفوع بفعل محذوف. Then أنت is مرفوع not as a khabar, but by an omitted verb. So that means it became fa'il. It's not khabar, it's fa'il. مرفوع either way, but not for the same reason. والأصل ما تصنع. And the origin of such an expression, if you were to say ما أنت وزيدا, is ما تصنع وزيدا. Oh, ما تكون وزيدا, or the implication is ما تكون وزيدا. فلما حذف الفعل, then when the verb was omitted, the verb تصنع or the verb تكون, برز الضمير, the pronoun came out and appeared. The pronoun that was a ضمير مستتر وجوبا. ضمير مستتر وجوبا. I'm going to come back to that in a minute, inshallah. One fasala, and then it separated. It appeared and separated. It detached from the verb. It disembarked from the verb. وارتفاعه بالفاعلية, and then its being in a state of rafa is going to be because of being a fa'il, the doer of the verb, not because of being a khabar, predicate of a mubtada. أو على أنه اسم لكان, or it's going to be marfu' as being kana's noun. Okay. Do you have any question up till here?
I think that's something that um,
Okay.
I
I
think,
want to say something.
huh?
I want to say something. I want to
Okay.
make it more clear for you. So he's saying, you might say in Arabic, ma anta. So ma is a mubtada, subject of nominal sentence, nominal subject. And anta is khabar, predicate. Okay, that's clear. Ma anta. And what Ibn Hisham is saying is, beware. Sometimes something would have, a sentence or a word in the sentence would have some case or syntax on its own. But when associated with something else, its syntax would change. Such as here, ma anta. What are you? Okay, subject and predicate. He says, as long as you don't add something like وزيدا ما أنت وزيدا. Now, if you say that, then anta is not going to be a khabar. This word zayda wazaydan influences the meaning of the sentence overall, and therefore influences the actual syntactical position of anta. Because we need to figure out what? Why is Zayd mansub? What is making Zayd mansub, and what is the meaning here? So Ibn Hisham is saying, if you were to say ma anta wa Zaydan, then what you're really saying is ma tasna'u wa Zaydan. Ma tasna'u wa Zayda. Okay, now tasna, where's enta here? Enta, as you know, is the pronoun for tasna. Bamir mustatir. It's built-in pronoun. Ma tasna'u enta. We don't have to say enta here. That's clear so far?
Yes.
Okay. So when you say ma tasna'u wa Zaydan, and you don't have to say enta there, it's implied. Then this implied enta, what is it? It's the fa'il. It's the fa'il of tasna. Enta is fa'il. The fa'il of tasna, the doer of the verb. That's a subject, verbal subject. Subject of a verbal sentence. So, if you were to erase the verb and basically the pronoun abandons ship, or imagine the pronoun he's a paratrooper. He hopped out. Now he's on his own. He's not with the craft anymore. He's not being carried by the craft, the aircraft, or the ship. He hopped out. He bailed out. So now he's on his own. So he appeared. Anta. And the verb is erased. It's gone. So what's left then is ma anta wa Zaydan. So then what's anta? Anta is fa'il, not khabar. Is this clear?
Yes.
Right. So that's what he's saying here. He's saying, you beware, oh beginner. Oh, you beginner in the science of Arabic syntax. Beware that a word might have some syntax or case on its own, but when associated with something else, would have a different syntax or case. Here's an example for you. And also, he said there's another way to possibly explain ma anta wa zaydan. The other way is that what was implied. The other way is to say that what was implied was ma takunu. Ma takunu wa zaydan. Now, if that is the implication, then the pronoun abandoned ship and its craft is now gone, which was the verb, then it's still going to be anta, but it's going to be what? Not fa'il, it's going to be ism takun. It's going to be ism takun. Takun's noun. Takun's noun. And the verb is erase. So that's what he's saying. To give you an example of how something could have a case on its own and a different case when associated with something else. If you have a question, feel free, please. So he says, من ذلك ما أنت وما شأنك فإنهما أي ما أنت مبتدأ وخبر إذا لم تأتي بعدهما بنحو قولك وزيدا فإن جئت به فأنت then أنت is مرفوع بفعل محذوف. أنت is going to be مرفوع by an omitted verb. والأصل in the original expression, the source of this expression that we are trying to decipher is ما تصنع وزيدا أو ما تكون وزيدا. فلما حذف الفعل, then when the verb is omitted. Yeah, that was my depicting it as when the pronoun abandons ship, when he disembarks, he hops out the what do you call that? The back of the airplane opens up, and then the paratroopers hop out. He hops out of there. Then baraza damir. Then the pronoun appears. One fasal, it separates. Yeah, it becomes independent. وارتفاعه بالفاعلية, and its being marfu' is going to be not as khabar, like when we merely said ma anta only, but it's going to be fa'il, fa'il of the verb that it's hopped overboard from. Oh, على أنه اسم لكان, or it's going to be marfu' as the ism of kana. I said ism takun, same thing. وشأنك بتقدير ما يكون. وما فيهما في موضع نصب خبرا. ما أنت وزيدا. وشأنك بتقدير ما يكون وما فيهما في موضع نصب خبرا ليكون أو مفعولا لتصنع. ومثل ذلك كيف أنت وزيدا. وشأنك بتقدير ما يكون وما فيهما في موضع نصب. Okay. All right. So there's something here in this sentence. I don't remember why I put a rectangle around there, but it was for a reason. That's why I'm pausing here. وشأنك بتقدير ما يكون. I think I understand what he's saying here. وما فيهما في موضع نصب خبرا ليكون أو مفعولا لتصنع. ومثل ذلك كيف أنت وزيدا إلا أنك إذا قدرت تصنع كان كيف حالا إذ لا تقع مفعولا به. وكذلك يختلف إعراب الشيء. Okay. All right. So let's look here. When you said ma anta only, it was a mubtada and a khabar. But when you said ma anta wa zaydan, anta became either a fa'il or ism kana. Let's say anta became a fa'il. Ma anta. ما أنت أي ما تصنع. ما تصنع أنت. So then here, let me, if the taqdir were ما ما تصنع ما تصنع وزيدا, so means تصنع أنت. What then is going to be the i'rab of ma? It's not going to stay mubtada. Now it is what? مفعول به. Okay, مفعول به instead of mubtada. Was mubtada when we said ma anta. Became maf'ul bihi when we said ma anta wa zaydan. So the whole i'rab changed. When we just said ma anta, it was a mubtada and the khabar. But if we said ma anta wa zaydan, then ma became maf'ul bihi and anta became a fa'il. Was zaydan. Did he tell us what is zaydan here though? What comes to my mind is Zaydan is maf'ulun ma'ahu, maf'ulun ma'ahu.
Well, when he said أو مفعولا لتصنع مثل.
Yeah.
Well, in this, well, not مثل, but this, what is he saying there? Then أو مفعولا.
Oh, maf'ulan li tasna.
Yeah. So
That's yeah.
hold on. Sorry.
That's what I was just explaining for you now,
Okay.
which is here. if we were to say the sentence is ma tasna'u wa zaydan, it became clear for us now that if this is what the sentence really means, that anta is a fa'il, not a khabar. And if this is what the sentence means, then what's ma? Ma is not going to be a mubtada, it's going to be a maf'ul bihi. Because tasna needs a maf'ul bihi. What are you making? And you're making what is the meaning? Tasna'u ma. So ma is maf'ul for tasna. That's clear?
It's not. I don't understand how it's maf'ul, but if I assume I'm, of course it is. I just don't understand clearly. But
Here. Man tadrib. What's the i'rab of man? Maf'ul bihi.
Okay.
Man tadrib. That's what's happening here. Ma tasna.
Okay. So then the wow is altaf and Zaid is the ma'tuf. Is that going along with the i'rab of?
Well, if what I am imagining, which is that it's a maf'ul ma'hu, then that wow is wow al ma'iyah, wow al ma'iyah.
Okay.
That would be like when you say ja al amiru wal jaysha. Ja al amiru wal jaysha. Here, this wow is wow al ma'iyah. And al jaysha is maf'ulun ma'ahu. But that's just only my first thing that comes to my mind. I'm not sure what's the i'rab of wazaydan. So I'm now just on the, yani, I'm in the ride with you here. And I want to see what does Ibn Hisham unravel for us. Yani, I'm reacting to this and I'm reacting to it live. So that's the meaning there when he says, "Oh, maf'ulan li tasna." He says, "وَمَا فِيهِ مَا فِي مَوْضِعِ نَصْبٍ خَبَرًا لِيَكُونَ." Oh, maf'ulan li tasna. This period shouldn't be here. That's one thing throwing me off here. That you need to be mindful of when you are studying any book in Arabic. You might think that you might get confused because of some punctuation. Like right now, that just threw me off. Now it became clear for me it shouldn't be there. وما فيهما في موضع نصب خبرا ليكون أو مفعولا لتصنع. So, yes, he's saying, what if we were to say that what is implied is not tasna? If we were to say that what is implied is takun, then what's the i'rab of ma? We know the i'rab of anta is ism kana. What's the i'rab of ma? It's still going to be in the state of nasb because takun needs a khabar, right? Because it needs an ism and a khabar. So takunu ma, takunu anta ma is the meaning. Takunu anta ma, but you're going to put ma in the front. Why that's in the front, by the way? I just gave you something to compare it to make it relatable. Man tadrib, we had there ma tasna. Why did ma and men here come to the front if they are maf'ul? Usually maf'ul is going to be after the verb. Because there's a question here. And the question has يعني السؤال له حق الصدارة. The question has the right to be in the front. And some other things too. The question has the right to be in the front. So that's why you say, man anta, who are you? You don't say, anta man, you are who? Yani, in Arabic. You might say in English, you are who? But really means, who are you? And you say, kaifa haluka. You don't say, haluka kaifa. How are you? You don't say, you are how. You put the question in the front. Meaning, when I say the question, you put the question in the front means the interrogative noun, the interrogative noun, the noun of query. Men, who? That's a question mark right there. Now, what? Cave, how? Those are questions. So the question goes in the front. So if the taqdir is ma takunu, then ma is still mansub as khabar kana. Is this clear?
Yes.
He says, وَمِثْلُ ذَلِكَ كَيْفَ أَنْتَ وَزَيْدًا. So until now, he didn't explain what's وَزَيْدًا. Now, if he doesn't come back and say what وَزَيْدًا means throughout all of this talk, how do I take that? My inclination is that he did it for a reason. Because when you have those scholars like that, they don't do things not for a reason. Liani, what they don't say also you take into consideration for a reason. Because those scholars, they lack heedlessness. They lack heedlessness. They are very aware of what they are doing and what they're not doing. So if he doesn't come back and say what wazaydan means, my own inclination is to think that on purpose he didn't say what it means. I would give him that benefit of the doubt. And then what would be the benefit of not saying what it means? For me, the benefit would be to make me think, to make me as the student think. And if I don't know, then I'm going to ask.
So I know sometimes in some universities, and I know more particularly about math, they'll leave some steps out intentionally because they think that it's understood. It's a
Yes,
well reviewed information. It's not necessary to, you know.
that's also a possibility that he didn't quote, he didn't comment on it. If he didn't, we didn't finish reading yet. That he didn't comment on it because he sees it clear. So it doesn't occur to him that there's a need to comment. And it's possible that he forgot. He's only human after all. So he says, وَمِثْلُ ذَلِكَ كَيْفَ أَنْتَ وَزَيْدًا. And like that is if you were to say كَيْفَ أَنْتَ وَزَيْدًا. How are you? وَزَيْدًا. So it looks like it says and Zayd. It does not simply though and Zayd, or else it would be marfu'. كَيْفَ أَنْتَ وَزَيْدٌ. So there's something going on for it to be in the state of nasb. And if it's in the state of nasb here, which it is, then first thing that's going to come to our minds is that there's a verb involved. إلا أنك إذا قدرت تصنع كان كيف حالا. Except that if you were to estimate that the omitted verb is tasna, then kayfa, it's not going to be a maf'ul bihi like ma. We switched out ma for kayfa here. We said if it's ma tasna, then ma is maf'ul bihi. He's saying if you switch out ma for kayfa, then it's not going to be a maf'ul bihi, it's going to be hal, adverb. إذ لا تقع مفعولا به, because كيف would never be a maf'ul bihi, a direct object. So it's going to be something else. Still mansub, but mansub for its adverbial position in the sentence, not as a maf'ul bihi, a direct object. وكذلك يختلف إعراب الشيء باعتبار المحل الذي يحل فيه. And likewise, the i'rab, the case or syntax of something could vary by the slot that it is filling. By the slot that it is filling. وَسَأَلْتُ طَالِبًا, I asked a student, ما حقيقة كان إذا ذكرت في قولك ما أحسن زيدا. So see, nice done there. So he did not come back to explain what wazayda means. He moved on now to a new case, a new issue.
Yeah, Ustad, if we can understand the meaning, maybe is the meaning if it's waw al ma'iyya, is he asking how are you with Zayd?
Yeah, that's what it would be. Or how are you along with Zayd? How are you with Zayd? It has meaning of accompanying. Yeah, it means with. That's when wow would mean with. But not with the meaning of how's your relationship with Zayd?
No.
With the meaning of being in his company or being along with him, being associated with him. Being a counterpart, for example.
So in that case, would Zayd be the maf'ul ma'ahu?
Then if that wow is wow al-ma'iyya, then Zaydan is maf'ul ma'ahu. Yeah, what are our options? What are the mafa'il? Let's look real quick. And the mansubs, the mansubat here. Al-mansubat is the broadest topic, the broadest title, mansubat. So the first mansubs are going to be the mafa'il. The mansubat include the mafa'il. What are the mafa'il? Mafa'il includes maf'ul bihi. First one they're going to mention. Direct object. Then maf'ul mutlaq. Absolute maf'ul. The absolute object or something like that. When the source noun is the object of its own verb, say darabahu darban, qatalahu qatlan. You have maf'ul fihi, which is called dharf. And you have two cases, dharf zaman and dharf makan. And you have maf'ulun li ajlihi, the motivation, the object of the motivation. The motivation.
can we say the object of the reason why, or in a broad sense, the object of the reason why?
Well, for me, reason is too broad because reason it means cause, but that doesn't mean necessarily a motivator. A cause is not necessarily a motivator. Because you say, for example, Allah says, "Ibtigha al-fitna." Those people who pursue the mutashabih verses. Why? Ibtigha al-fitna, for the sake of. Yani, this is their motivation. This is why they are doing it. For that reason. Or like this, you say, also the scholars give this example. Kumtu, sorry. Kumtu ijlalan li Zayd. I stood out of respect for Zayd. Or like that. Yeah. What means that? Ijlalan li Zayd. It was his ijlal that made him stand. That's what motivated his standing. So that's what I would say personally.
No, that makes it easier if you're using actually the same word in that مفعول لأجله and إجلال. Well, no, it's not the same word, but it looks like it almost.
Yeah. Yeah, ijlal, the root letters of ijlal are jim, lam, lam.
Yes, yes.
And the root words of ajl are hamza, jim, lam.
Yeah, mashallah. Initial glance, it looked like it, but yeah,
Yes.
it understanding it, no, critically, no, it's not. Yeah, mashallah.
MashaAllah. And what other maf'ul do we have here? We have also, is there another? We have maf'ul bihi, maf'ul mutlaq, maf'ul fihi, maf'ul
معه.
li'ajlihi, and yeah, maf'ul ma'ahu. جاء الأمير والجيش. And those are the mafa'il that I can think of. I don't think I'm missing any here.
What
Then,
about الحال?
yeah, that's not a maf'ul, but it is a mansub. So it's under the mansubat. If we want to mention what the mansubs are, then first, usually, they're going to start by mentioning the maf'uls, the various kinds of maf'uls. Those are amongst the mansubs. And then you have amongst the mansubs the mustafna, the exclusion. You say, قام القوم إلا زيدا. The people stood except Zayd. Zayd is mustathna, mansub. And what is having the power of nasb here is the harf nasb, harf istithna. The harf nasb, the harf istithna here is a harf nasb. And also you have the hal adverb. So you say جاء زيد راكبا. Zayd came riding. And you also have the tamyiz, the distinction or distinguisher. You say, رأيت 20 رجلا, for example. I saw 20 men, رجلا. So those are the mansubs. And the example Ibn Hisham gave us is ما أنت وزيدا. So I'm ruling out tamyiz. I'm ruling out hal. I'm ruling out mustathna. I'm not ruling out maf'ul bihi. I'm ruling out maf'ul mutlaq. I'm ruling out maf'ul ma'ahu. I'm ruling out maf'ul. It is not maf'ul li ajlihi. So just in my own estimation, and I still don't know the answer, I would think it's one of those, either of those, maf'ul bihi or maf'ul mutlaq.
You said you're ruling out maf'ul mutlaq, or you're including?
Yes.
Okay, right. So you're not ruling out maf'ul ma'ahu, but you're ruling out maf'ul fihi.
Yes. I'm
Okay.
ruling out maf'ul fihi also, because not maf'ul fihi for sure. Maf'ul fihi is going to be the zaman or the makan. So Zaydan is not a zaman or a makan. And Zaydan also is not going to be maf'ul mutlaq, because Zaydan is not a masdar. Maf'ul mutlaq is going to be a masdar. You say darabtuhu darban. And it's not a maf'ul min ajlihi, because also needs to be a masdar. That's going to be a masdar. You say kumtu ijlalan. That's masdar. Lahu. And what is the wow? Yani Zaydan, whatever the i'rab of Zaydan is, depends on what the wow is. So if the wow is mere conjunction only, then it's going to be conjuncted to something mansub. Ma tasna'u wa Zaydan. So if Zaydan is conjuncted to ma, then it's maf'ul bihi. ما تصنع وزيدا ما أنت وزيدا أي تصنع ما وتصنع زيدا. But يعني it's strange to me though. تصنع زيدا
I mean, if he didn't mention it, and it's reasonable to presume, it's not unreasonable to presume, it's not ignorant to presume, that is waw ma'iyya, and that's maf'ul ma'ahum.
it could be ignorance, because we need to review the conditions of maf'ul ma'ahu.
Okay.
All of these have shurut.
MashaAllah.
So we might investigate the conditions of maf'ul ma'ahu and find that does not apply here.
MashaAllah.
MashaAllah. Okay, let's see here. It's like we stopped the same spot we stopped at last time, approximately.
MashaAllah. It's beneficial, mashallah. It's okay.
Yes, alhamdulillah.
I mean, this is not simple, like I mean, at least not for me. So it's mashallah, the review is beneficial, even though we talked about it, but still.
Yes, it was beneficial for me too. Subhanallah. Because now I want to know what Zaydan is. So I'll have to ask, inshallah. Subhanallah.
Yeah, maybe Hajj Ali might know. He's very,
yeah,
mashallah, he's very, very.
Yes, but inshallah we'll ask the Ustad Dr. Wafi. Dr. Wafi.
Okay.
I
Have
think
you?
Dr. Wafi has some status amongst the academia of yani modern Arabic professors in
MashaAllah.
the Arab world.